Hello. Um, Welcome everyone again to this episode live um, with my guest number 7. It is so wonderful to continue to have this conversation, and also very important in the space that I advocate for, especially having youth voice um, in this space. So I am so excited to hold this conversation. And before I welcome our guest, I just wanted to say thank you so much to every one of you. And for, okay, I will just stop and then try to see. I think I have a problem with my live. I hope it's not the same as Michael's. Let me just check. I hate this when this happens. Hi, sorry everyone. I just got a technical glitch there, but today I am so excited to introduce to you my seventh guest, Miss Leoshina Kariha. She is joining us from Hawaii, and she is a student at the University of Hawaii at Hilo, and I am very privileged and excited and honored to have her be part of this conversation and to have her as my 7th guest for this Live with Conscious Como show. So maybe you might not know her, you might know her, but she is I planned this all along. Like, I speak well, but I am about to introduce to an absolute queen, and someone who is very, very inspiring to all of us. So I'm having my words all jumbled up, but she is an amazing inspiration to Papua New Guineans, and she does so many things as a passion to contribute to communities. But now she is studying overseas, and as a student and as a passionate young person, as an ambassador of our beautiful country. And I cannot wait to have her join me on this conversation. So please let us all welcome her. She has so much to say, and we will just listen to her all throughout this conversation. So please stay tuned and ask as many questions as you want. But let's all make her feel welcome onto this program. Okay, she's in.
Hi.
Hello, Sisa.
Hello.
Aloha, Sisa.
Aloha. Good pala looking me pala
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for taking your time to have this conversation with me, and I'm sure a lot of our my followers and your followers will feel the same. Yay! Now I feel like I don't have a PNG flag at the back, and I'm like, oh, I'll probably have to think about that when I'm interviewing very big and high profile people, and very like people who are inspirational to Papua New Guinea but are living outside of the country. This is amazing. And you know what? One thing that I just did some few minutes ago, I prepared everything that I wanted to say about you. And then I kind of jumbled it up a little bit because I was so nervous. I've done 6 live conversations already, but this is like every time I try to interview someone new, I get like all excited and then I forget some of my lines. So that is good because then it will give me time to introduce you again to our people who have joined us today. So how is it over there in Hawaii? Hawaii.
Thank you, Yola. First, I want to draw attention to this amazing woman who is moderating our discussion today. I'm really proud of how far she's come in advocating, in being part of tribal Foundation. And she's also, in her time there, been able to mentor my friends who have come from Divine Word, like Billy July, and some other young people who are now joining the workforce, becoming advocates in their own like communities. Like, I'm just really thankful to finally have this live with you. And I'm flying the flag here from Honolulu. And I just miss Papua New Guinea so much. And I miss Gordon's. I miss Gordon's. Shout out to Gordon's. Yeah. I'm no high profile individual. I'm just like a sister to all my other susas in Papua New Guinea, and we're all trying our best to make change, whether it's in education or in politics. But we're also doing things as mothers, as sisters that are raising our siblings, sometimes in like single family households. And yeah, let's just own that. Let's have fun with this conversation.
I love that. And I love how you put that, because it's very important that we like differentiate that and be able to own our own, spaces as women, as young people, as individuals. So thank you so much for, putting things into perspective for this conversation. It's been how many years since you left our shores to go for studies? I mean, not how many years, but months, maybe, or years, yeah.
I left 5 months ago. On January 1st, we left. So we left Port Moresby, and it was like very security from like COVID. It was really high. We had to leave our families at the gates, and it was sad to see our families there at the gates. Ginate and I are both Papua New Guinean students, so there's another PNG sister here with me, and she's studying business administration. And we also have another squad from Fiji, Taitusi, and so we all hang out together. And we're doing our not internship, but like a summer institute here. But back to your question, I left 5 months ago.
That's awesome. And I like, probably that's a conversation that we can get to in a minute. But like your journey, I have to be able to share this with everyone who is tuning in. Your journey has been amazing, from the time that you started school to Divine Word University, and then contesting for the Miss PNG, and then to Miss Pacific. You held yourself in a way that, of course, with all your other sisters who were contesting for the seat, you all represented your, organization, your sponsors very well. And it was, especially for you, it was such an amazing opportunity for us to see that, we have beautiful, women like this who can really come out and be humble at the same time, who can advocate for the causes that they stand for. So it has been, I watched your journey throughout, and I was inspired by you, as well as everyone else who were in your cohort who were contesting, because you spoke about your issue and your passion very, very eloquently, that you captured so many people to support that, your passion and the agenda that you were, advocating for. So I think it's something that is commendable, and it's not always on a plate where you don't get criticisms or anyone talking in a way that is not good. So back to that, because I understand, and you were a student when you were contesting for the Miss Pacific, and then on to Miss PNG, and then on to Miss Pacific. So how did you juggle that? How did you manage to stay focused on school, and then still be able to represent your your organization as well as your passion at the national stage as well as the regional stage.
I'm just seeing Hena
Yes, the
Joku
comments.
also
Yes.
joined. And listening to what you were saying about the other women that I was able to like be blessed with to go on the pageant platform with. Ellen, Vera Morgan, we have so many young women. Natasha, they not only like you can see that they're very passionate because they don't stop advocating once they leave the platform. They continue their work. And so with Ellen Vera Morgan, you can see that she's continued supporting SMEs in East New Britain with the team that she's with now. If you followed what she's doing, I'm very proud of you, Ellen, and also Natasha, who has created other pageant platforms like with PNG and have turned around like the message of what a pageant means. When
Yeah.
it was all about beauty, it's now about how women can showcase their like knowledge and their ways of knowing our culture and being proud of that, owning our roots and our own stories, because everyone has their story, and
Yeah.
never be ashamed of where you come from. So back to your question about like how I managed to balance. I I wouldn't be able to manage balancing without a team. I'm I'm nothing by myself. I have a great God, and I put God first in everything that I do. And um, before I ever take a step into any like making any decision, I always pray about it first. So with school and pageant, I actually had a gap year during that time. And so I was 18 when I joined the pageant, and
Wow.
having like the weight of like a region, a country, and then a region, expectations on you at 18 is it wasn't easy, and I was lucky to have a committee that told me that yes, you can try to do everything, but let's do one thing at a time and do it well. And so I focused on being an ambassador to the country culturally and with the pageant.
Wow. And you mentioned something like I love that you are fully owning your faith in this conversation because not a lot of people do that, and I appreciate you for that. And I am sure that you come from a family where they're able to instill this in you when you are younger, when you were still young. So tell us a little bit about your family and the kind of environment that you grew up in. Was running for pageant something that was there for you while growing up, or was it like there was a reason why you said, okay, this is the time I'm gonna give it a try? So how did the journey happen for you?
Well, to be honest, I never thought of entering a pageant. Uh, I am a girl who grew up in Gordons. I was rough. I chewed boy growing up. I yeah, I chewed boy growing up. I walked the streets 4 years to Marinville, cut grass. Um, Loved my headphones, and I was a very shy and insecure person. I was no public speaker, and going through the pageant was, I would say, it had to be the greatest decision that I've made, not for myself, but for like the little girls that need something to look up to. I I don't want to see myself as like someone who is up there and unreachable, but someone who everyone can relate to. And little girls can talk to if they ever need like help with anything. Like I would just want to be a sister. Yeah, just seen as a
Yeah.
sister.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's very important, like in terms of um, because I absolutely agree with you on the note of role models in our country. I think there is a need for positive role models in this country, especially for the young people, and of course everyone else who are still growing up, and having a role model that is, you know, within the within a country that we can look up to and not look far. It kind of like put things into perspective for us. Now it's like it gives us something that we can see and we can look at, and we're like, if she did it, he did it, I can also do it, you know. So it's like if it's within Papua New Guinea, it's the context is there. You know, it's not like you're looking up to a role model who is from the other, you know, parts of the world. You're looking up to a role model that is between PNG and the Pacific, and you know, wherever they grew up in, you can definitely relate to their upbringing, you know, the family background, because we all know what it's like in PNG. And then we will find no reason to be able to, you know, push further and break away from, you know, all these whatever cultural mental bondage that we have, and then, you know, be able to reach higher. So I absolutely love that you put it that way. Um, I'm sure like there's so many specific beautiful moments that has happened in your life where probably it has changed your life for the better, or it has helped taught you a lesson. If that was something, or if that was something that happened to you, or anyone else closer to you, what would it be? And was there like a particular lesson that you have learned out of it?
Well, I first of all I want to say that in during my years in the pageants, the kind of publicity that was put out there on newspapers, on social media, they were all very good stuff. But I I would say that they were very they were like parts that were hidden, um, kind of like um, my real story. And it wasn't all elegant, makeup, pretty dresses. I so one experience that really changed my life was having to always walk through gardens and be reminded that this is our country and this is what why I'm going to school every day is for these people who like who are struggling every day to put like a meal on the table. And I see I also went through let me say this. It's really tough to be a girl in Papua New Guinea and go to school every day when you're always slandered with comments about they call you sexy on the way to school. They make fun of like your uniform, orange and white. They sometimes spit on you when you're walking to school. It's not it's it's the kind of things we have to go through to get an education, especially in high school. And those experiences really like they strengthened me to be able to like grow a thick skin. Yeah, grow a thick skin and not let anything destroy my focus on like why I'm here. I was once looking after this group of girls at Marinville, and we were walking back from the bus stop, and I was holding their hands at Gordon's, and I had this whole can of boy sweat like thrown at my bagu, at my forehead, and like at that moment, I thought like, hey, I just want to get mad, be like Koros, and then throw a fit. But I, yeah, we have to put up with those things to be able to get an education in Papua New Guinea and grow a thick skin. So now having the chance to come overseas and study, I'm really blessed to have that opportunity, and I know that many others in Papua New Guinea are struggling with school fees. Their mothers are trying their best to put them through school, and I just want to acknowledge the efforts of all those parents that are working hard to put their children through school, because my parents couldn't afford my school fees for 6 months after giving the crown away. I was in my room and I had nothing. I had nothing. I didn't have. I applied for the scholarship in the middle of the pageant. So while doing pageant work, I was sitting exams. If you know the IELTS exams, I was encouraged by the committee to apply because you know how once you step out of the education system in PNG, you can't go back with your HECAS or with AES. They won't give you back your scholarship. So I wasn't going to make my parents pay another 10 grand for my school fees to continue school in Divine Word. And so when the news came, the email came of this scholarship, I was just down on my knees, like just crying. And my dad was like, "What's wrong?" Because he watched me just like really depressed for 6 months. And yeah, those are the things that are never seen in the newspaper, in social media. Yeah.
You know, like you just touched so many things in just one conversation. Every Papua New Guinean who comes from the kind of families that we come from, they will definitely get this message. Like, it is so hard, and especially just to make the decision to send their kids to school. It's like the parents are sacrificing their life for the rest of their life. When you are going to school, or when we are going to school, they sacrifice their time, their sweat, their blood to send us to school from the time we decide to go to school. And I think I would never, be able to downplay how important education is, but also how valuable the support system we have in PNG, especially for our parents. And I think you made the right decision to apply for the scholarship and be able to get selected for the scholarship. And of course, it's you are like an exception. And if they didn't get you on the scholarship, if USSP didn't get you on the scholarship, it would have been the biggest loss ever. But I'm so glad that they made a decision to get you on this scholarship, because you are adding value to the university and to the program and to the scholarship itself. But coming back to the stories that you shared about walking to school, right? Then you're reminded of the struggle. We are reminded of the struggle, everyday struggle that our young people, like, we are hindering ourselves from excelling. I mean, that's something that I've just picked up from this whole conversation. We are hindering ourselves from excelling. I, as a woman, is walking to school, or you as a woman is walking to school. And then there's others, could be males, it could be females, who are standing on the roadside doing absolutely maybe nothing or something. And then they just throw these words at you. And one thing I keep on saying is words have power, They can just mentally get stuck in someone else's head. It will mess with them for the rest of their, life, unless they're mentally capable of getting over that, And of course, it's always with some guidance and help and faith when we are trying to get through those mental hurdles. But it is a reality in the country. You just pointed out the reality in the country, especially in the cities where girls are walking to school and it's not safe. Just to walk from the neighborhood to the bus stop to get to school and then back. It is, and then there are some people who argue that this country is safe. I think it is time that this group of people who say that this country is safe to like really step up and create a community that is safe for all of us. Because if we say that the whole of the country is safe, then maybe the 80% of the population is not doing something to change that. And of course it goes back to the leadership as well, but that is something that we all can see happening this year, but I won't get into that because I've been talking about that for the last six live conversations. It is so important, and in the sense that we start to recognize that we ourselves can be the solutions to our own problems. Like, if a woman is walking to school, just say, hello, beautiful. You don't have to say any derogatory words. You don't have, if she's beautiful, you just give her that. Hi, beautiful. You look amazing. You're so beautiful. I just wanted you to know that. That's all. You may not know talk. Now, we call names and whatnot. It's not, that's not cool at all. So I'm just encouraging our male counterparts in here. This is something that I also encounter as well. Going to work. I'm sure every working class woman who are here getting from bus and going to work, they experience the same thing. But suppose you looking one beautiful Mary and Makabal Golo bus stop. Now you just talk, hello, good morning, beautiful. I think you look really great this morning, and I just want to tell you that. You don't have to say anything else that will just mess up her day. And yeah, I just wanted to add on to that, and probably you have something to say as well before I go to the next probably segment of 2 or 3 questions.
No, you talk straight. It's like words have power, and I just always look back to the times when I was called scone, sausage, not only me, but like my sisters that are also trying to go to school. Like these words that, they like, yes, they may be funny, but stop likening women to objects. Like just, yeah. And it's a deep, we have to really dig into behavioral and attitude changes in our country. And these are coming through like Tribal Foundation. I want to highlight your programs in going into not only our cities but our rural areas and pushing out your programs for training and like training youth to think differently, because it all starts from the mind. Yeah, the mindset change.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you so much for highlighting the work that Tribal does. I really appreciate that. We try to do our little and as much as possible to see change going forward. I love this conversation already. And I think sometimes we just have to be brutal, right? We just have to be honest. We just have to put things, we just call spade a spade and spoon a spoon. Yeah. And you just, we are getting into that, and this is why I appreciate this kind of conversations when I have guests online. I have some dogs. They sometimes get crazy, so I apologize for the noise at the background. Probably they're hungry, so.
Yeah, you have dogs, and in Gordon's we have neighborhood fights, so it's okay.
Thank you so much. That makes me feel like so uncomfortable. Yeah, my dogs probably they're hungry, so probably later I'll see to it. It's very interesting, and I love this conversation. One, because the fact that you pointed out how much our parents work. And I didn't really touch on that much, but I want to bring this to light as well. As Papua New Guineans, we know how our situation is in the village growing up, or wherever in the suburb of the city you grew up in, the financial hardships that our parents go through. And I want to highlight this because I believe in obedience. I believe in submission, right? To the authority that is our parents. And I also grew up in the village as well. And I saw my parents as people who I can, I want to listen to and be obedient to so that I can, go further in my life. Just looking at your life and coming this far, it like tells me that you have a great support system, and being able to grow up from that kind of environment and coming to where you are now. Is there like a way that your parents talk to you, or a way that, something that they said that got stuck in your head, that gave you that, okay, I have to do something like this? Not, and most of the time, I think a lot of people who are going to school, young people who are going to school, are going to get good grades. But at the end of the day, we want to be able to, pay that same amount of respect to our parents for their hard work. But just give us a snippet of how, because the character that you have, like not like there's not a lot of people have that, consistency in what you're doing and all of that. Just bring us like short snippet of how that is, and the values that your family teaches you, and then how it translates to you being here, and why it is important for our young people to be able to listen more to the closest authority in their life, and that is their parents, and how that can be beneficial to them making life altering decisions when they move away and further.
Okay, well, thank you, Yana, and thank you for bringing attention to like your life as well, and growing up in the village. And for myself, I'm growing up mostly in the city because it was very expensive to go back to Bougainville. It's like as expensive as a trip to Australia sometimes, so we couldn't afford it. But I'm envious of those that grew up in the village, and they know their language. They have you correct me. Yeah, and having your mother, and all I want to do, working hard, like everything that I do is so that in future I can spoil my parents. I can say thank you for all that they've done. Right now, I like for all those young people out there who like like me, I'm speaking from personal experience. Like with when you turn 20, or when you're in your teenage years, um, like the pleasures of life can come at you, peer pressure can come at you, but at the end of the day, you have to think of what's there 10 years from now. And when I look at my parents, I'm reminded um, of the kind of heart I want to have. Even when I climb up the ladder, I want to continue to have that heart of serving, because they're able to look after my brothers and I. There is no other role model I would look at other than my mother and father. I'll just tell you a bit about their story, which really humbles me, continues to humble me as I do my studies here in Hawaii. My dad was he fled in grade 10 during the Bougainville crisis that began in 1989 and closed in 1999. Oh no, 1899, around then. And so for him, I'm just gonna open up. This is a safe space. He went through a lot of struggles growing up as a grade 10 student in Solomon. He sometimes, when he had no money, he would sleep in the bathrooms, in the toilets, public toilets, and then wake up early, so that no one would see that he was going through those challenges. And sometimes he wouldn't have a family to go back to, and So knowing the struggles that he went through, and to go through studies and not let that bring him down, I admire that, and I want to be just like him, to not let financial, like being, poor affect my studies. And sometimes when you get like, we say that we want to be strong, but then when a parent says they're struggling while you're working overseas or you're doing studies, that really has like a mental strain on your mind. Like it kind of removes it, makes you remove your focus from studies, and you tend to worry a lot. And so when I look at my dad and my mom, and how they grew up and where they are today, I want to also work hard and give back to them, because they made me go through my education. They gave every toya for me to be able to be where I am today. And so even in pageant, I was supporting my parents with the money that I received. Like these things humble you, and that's why I was able to stay that Gordon's girl from the time I was crowned to now. Yeah.
Thank you. And I love that you said Gordon's Girl, and I think that's absolutely brilliant. And that's your brand, always we have to appreciate where we come from. And most of the time, we don't see, like, we see you as Leoshina, we see you. That's what we see. We see you contesting for pageant. We see you winning Miss PNG, Miss Pacific. We see you now studying at Hawaii, in Hawaii. But we don't see what you just said. And I really deeply, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you sharing that, especially on this platform with me. And I do, I know that a lot of those who are tuning in will be able to connect to your story and learn something, one or two things from this. And thank you so much for opening up. It's not always we see what is happening outside. We see someone successful, all of that, and then we don't see the struggle that goes behind them being there. So if someone, like, just a general comment to make, if for those who are following, if someone is successful, if someone is living the best, you know, living their best life, you don't have ill, conceive the mindset towards them because they worked hard. You don't know the struggles that they have to go through to be able to be where they are now. So when someone is, working really hard and is successful in life, they are where they are because they worked hard for it, because something happened in their life that transformed their mindset to make them say that, and make them decide that this is not where I'm gonna be. This is not my reality. I am going to take this and I'm going to change it, and I'm going to make the change and the lesson that comes with it benefit me. And I absolutely love sharing your story, and especially your dad. I think dads in this country are underappreciated. I mean, as well as mothers and fathers. And I can never stress this enough. And I talk about this through sentence in passing, appreciating the roles and values that men and women bring to the society, even to family. That's the first and foremost important thing. Of course, there's not a lot of people, when we are growing up, we didn't have that family, right? We didn't have that connection with our parents. But do we let that define us, right? Do we let that, you know, and what they're surrounding or what they've grown up in, their past experience, we learn from that, and then we try to make the best of it. So I am learning so much lesson from you. Oh my goodness, you're like oozing wisdom. Like, thank you so much. I'm glad we had this conversation today and not later. And it's very important. And again, to like people who are tuning in, especially, there is no better way to submit to authority in a society than to your parents. I I will never stress this enough. My entire life, I obeyed my parents my entire life. There was one time I will share this story. Since you shared your story about your dad, I will share this story. It's like small. I'll keep it simple. I went to school in the village, and then I was so mad because I was gonna go to school without any money, right? And that's the reality. Not everyone it has money when they're going to school. You will be given 2 kina for the day to manage. You'll be given a 10 kina for the week to manage. God knows how much someone gets, probably a 20 toya to just buy scone from the roadside, or whatever, to keep you in school. But because our country is diverse, we have different, stories to tell. So I went to school, and it was back home, high school, and it was for a term, and a term is equivalent to like 10 weeks, 14, 10, 12 weeks for a term in high school. So it was term one, and my parents didn't have anything to give me. So what they did was they gave me a 5 kina. Oh, I was so mad. I was furious. I was like, you guys had the Christmas holiday to at least look for something to at least 100 kina. Give me 100 kina. But that's like, I'm absolutely no way. 100 kina, how about you kiss him 100 kina the village? So, or give me 5 kina, that's all. I was like, no, I'm not going to take this money. Sorry. I will not take this. I cannot accept this money. And mom was like, please take it. This is the least we can give to you. Then nothing. And I said no, and then I threw the money on the ground. And then I walked off with my bag, my school bag, crying. And then like my younger sister ran back of me, tiptoed. She was tiptoeing because she didn't want to make all the noises that someone is walking at the back of me. She tiptoed, and then she put the 5 kina in my bag. And then when I was at school, I just realized that I had to buy clothes, or not clothes, soap, especially to wash my clothes. And I was checking through my bag. Oh, I should have accepted the 5 kina. I was thinking back to the 5 kina. And then I looked through my stuff, and then I saw the 5 kina tucked away in the pocket of the pocket of my bag. I was like, I cried. I'm like, there's little things that our parents do for us that we take it for granted. But they feel the most pain to be able to provide for us. And I don't think they are appreciated enough. And it's very important to note that in this conversation. So thank you so much, Leo, for sharing that particular moment and story of your dad with us. I think it's very moving to me.
Life is more than, it's like a book, like you only see the cover, but never, like, everyone has their own story, and when people are trying to do something good, like I remember you were saying you were doing a live,
Yes.
live one time, and there were people who had their own views on like how you were doing things, but you, at least you are trying your best in whatever small way to spread like change in our younger generation, because social media is the place to begin for this generation that's mostly based on technology. And you're starting at the right place, Susan. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
and, go on.
Just a challenge. Like, people may smile and put on like masks, like put on lives that like just check on a friend, encourage them, because you may not know what people are going through. Don't just assume that people are okay and they're happy, I just encourage, check on your friends, check on your family members. And
absolutely
COVID really, Yeah,
Yeah.
COVID really reminded us. Sorry, the
Yeah.
network. The
Yeah.
network.
Then I was like, oh my gosh, no, don't go.
Yeah. COVID
Yeah.
reminded us to keep checking on others, building our relationships with people. Yeah.
Absolutely true. And that's very important. I think one of the bad things about like internet as well is like it keeps us in a pod, you know, like we come into this social media space, we come into this internet, and then we think that that's it. We think that's the reality, right? And then
That's
we
it.
get stuck in that pod without having to think like we have to use it to connect with someone, like, or video call, video chat them, or instead of just
Mhm.
chatting, hey, can I call you? Let's talk about something, or let's anything at all that you want to talk about. And I think it gives us that face-to-face interaction, but the fact that you are world apart. That's the most like that's the beauty of internet. But also it makes us like it shouldn't be something that controls us in a way that it makes us live in it and then try to use it in a way that's bad and doesn't add value to our lives. And I absolutely agree with you to like have internet and young people using that to their advantage, creating um whatever they're creating, promoting, and making it known to the world. So I absolutely love that. And I know you are studying at Hawaii University of Hawaii, and Junata is there with you. I mean, studying at the same university. Maybe I can have her on sometime. She was our um, volunteer back then, and it
Oh
was
yeah.
an absolute honor to have worked with her. She's like dedicated like you, and very humble like yourself. And I think that's a kind of value that we want to portray to universities like University of Hawaii, that of course PNG can do it, and this is why you need more students from PNG and the Pacific to join, because this is who we are, this is the values that we have, and this is what we can give to the world, to this university, to the community here. So what are
Yes.
you specifically studying, and um, how is that, going for you over there? I'm sure you're missing home, but apart from that,
Mhm. I miss home. I miss the lamp flap stall. We need to laugh today. But Ginata is a
sorry.
really lovely person to be with. I and the other USSP, United States South Pacific Scholarship recipients, they're from other islands of the Pacific, and together we all miss home. But right now we can't go home because it's we're unsure whether like borders will close suddenly, and um, and we won't be able to come back to school. And we did that 1 year of online studies and studying in a
Yes.
room with like all your classmates are overseas. That's that's not easy. So we're not going to go through that again. Um, so we're staying here, and we're doing a summer institute at the moment, and there's a Pacific team from Pacific Islands Development Program under the guidance of Dr. Mary Haturi. And Dr. Mary Haturi is Micronesian. She's from Guam. And there's also another Fijian. So we have Taitusi Vande, and then there's another Fijian who's part of this program. Um, but he's an intern. And then there's some Solomon Islanders too, and Vanuatu family too. So we're missing home, but we have the company of other Pacific Islanders, and we tonight actually we were sharing kava after work. You know kava, Fiji kava.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was telling them, we have this in Medang too. We have kava in Medang, but it's its own name, not called kava. But it's kind of a cultural thing where you clap first, and then you serve the kava, and you must finish that entire bowl. Yeah, and I was just like, we have to be really mindful of being respectful of other other cultures, because Hawaii is very diverse, and
Yes.
when you come here, it's like a mixture of um, so many different cultures. There's Portuguese, there's Filipinos, and Japanese because of the sugar plantation, so they came over. Um, Yeah, so that's a bit of the history. But in Hilo, it's not like the big city. It's not like Honolulu. Yeah, Koniak. Thank you. Yes, that's the name of our Medang
Yeah.
kava. Yeah, Koniak. Hey, am I saying our? Yeah, Medang is like
You
my
are
second home.
yeah.
Yeah. But Hilo is kind of it's a quiet university. It's small. It reminds me of Divine Word, and there are mostly Micronesians that go to University of Hawaii Hilo, and I'm studying political science with a minor in geography. Why I decided to take both of those subjects together, major and minor together, is because I thought back of our land, land grabbing resources, um,
Yes.
and definitely the Bougainville crisis. So yeah, I'm just liking the comments.
Yes, you did it. I was like, there's so
Thank
many
you.
comments that I did like didn't really get to liking them, but you can like them from your end. Um,
Okay.
you
Oh, sorry.
yes, absolutely go on.
Um, yeah, so political science, I'm not taking it necessarily because I want to be a politician, because political science is it's it's more like, but like I am not trying to aim for that path of going straight into government. I want to first be amongst community. Right after studies, I want to at least have 1 year or 2 years being immersed in Bougainville. Like just going back to Kieta, because the last time I visited was grade 10, grade 10 holidays. Yeah. And since then, I just couldn't go back because of the price of the tickets.
I I think that wouldn't be a problem. I am actually good friends with Honorable Minister Matpo. So
Oh yes, education.
I will definitely message her, and I will send the link of the video to her and say, please watch this. And then you would wanna, as soon as she finishes, please take care and make use of the knowledge that she has for the people of Bougainville. So I will definitely message her and then
Thank
say, please,
you.
as soon as she finishes school, please get her on board your team. But that's good that you are sharing your passion, and I think that's important because a lot of us think that we finish from university and then we want to get straight into politics. Well, that's great. Like it's democrat it's a democracy. PNG is a democracy. You have the freedom to do that, but also like you also have the free will to be able to decide for yourself that you want to stay longer in workforce, try to understand the system, the structure, the framework, and whatever they call it in the government structure. Um, and then, when you know the ropes, then you can go and, know exactly what you want to do, where to shoot, where to pull in all the, partners and all the networks and whatnot. So I think you're on that path. And I think if you ever decide to step into that political thing, then you already have that, you know, understanding of
Yes,
everything. But absolutely agree with you on the idea of just immersing yourself in the systems and everything, getting to know the people in the communities, because it's very important to know what the community is desiring to have, what they need, before making decisions on behalf of them, assuming that they need this when they
I
need
have
something
something.
else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really agree with you because
Uh,
some
uh,
people think they can just go get the education and then be like automatically your people will love you, but no, that's not the case. You have to be in community, being a politician. Oh my gosh, you're talking politics. No, being a politician is about
no.
it's about like being with your community, like like if someone is holding a gathering, a small gathering, then be there. You know, don't
Yeah.
just like lord down on the people. Yeah. And
I
don't
love
just
it.
think that you have this degree. Yeah, we're being honest. You have a degree, and you can edit this out if you want.
It's okay. I mean,
Don't
like,
think that
it's
you have
gonna
a
be
degree.
here. It's gonna be saved here, so I don't think I have the power to edit it.
Okay. Yeah, some have that belief that if you have a degree outside or you get your um, PhD outside, it's easy to just come in and take over. Yeah, but
Yeah.
um, I just believe in. I'm really trying my best to go back.
Not.
I really want to go
Yeah.
back home. Like I miss home. I miss Kerry River. I miss like the simple things that the village, like village life is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I know, like, it's always, when you don't appreciate home as much as you are in it, then when you go out of the country, and then you appreciate it more. So that's I think that's the power of belonging. Just the power of belonging to a community, belonging to a tribe, belonging to a land.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
as people who come from this land, we know, we are so connected to the land that when we leave it and we go stay for long somewhere else, then
Mhm.
there's always something from the land that calls us to go back. So I think that's a
Mhm.
good thing, right? And you're already going through that, and I won't see like any problem. You just finishing straight from university and going back straight home to serve the people. So in a capacity that the government of Bougainville sees fit. I think it's very important. And you know what?
Hey,
I'm gonna text Honorable Minister. Yeah, I'm just gonna text Honorable Minister Matt Bob and tell her that please just wait for this year and then get this young woman on board your team. So,
um,
but on a bigger note, I think a lot of organizations would want to have you on board their team as well. So you'll be having so many opportunities and requests from everywhere. I know this conversation is so interesting, and I don't want to go. I definitely don't want to end this conversation right now. But we are like 1 minute away from from our conversation ending. Just I'm sure you already shared that you want to go back to in the next 2 years you want to immerse in the community with the people. Probably tell us a bit about after 2 years, right? Because after 2 years, as soon as you immerse with the people, what are you gonna do?
okay,
because
so
because
oh,
women of the caliber is gonna be awesome, and I love that you got a little bit passionate about politics right there. I love that fire. So I'm not trying to direct the conversation towards politics, but after 2 years that you said, exactly 2 years that you're gonna invest with the people, but after 2 years, probably what are some of your things and the plans that you have going
okay.
forward? I'm sure, like, as we take 1 year at a time, we'll see the bigger picture, but as an idea of your future, what does it look like for you?
What does it look like for me? Oh wow.
Yes.
No, I think God holds those plans. But um, I wouldn't go into politics unless the community I'm serving want me to go into politics. Like, that's not my aim. Like, first, our generation after, like, my dad's generation, we are the ones that, like, back home, people my age, like, we need education, like the structure of education to be rebuilt and reestablished to the level that it was before crisis. And so that will be my aim. My aim right now is to try and get in touch with Honorable, yes,
Yes.
Matbog, Delma Matbog.
Yes.
That's her first name, right? Delma Matbog. And just try and see, work out how it doesn't have to be some high advanced tech system like it was before, but at least have students in the classroom and not roaming around. Did I say roaming around? Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love
Yeah.
it. And I mean that's I mean that's a great way to start. And I absolutely love that you want the people to believe in what you stand for, and then they will be the one to say, hey, I think you're already doing great, and you will represent us well in the space of higher authority. So that's a good way to I think it's an excellent way. I should not say good. It's an excellent way to start, and I think that's how Honorable Minister Matt Bob got into politics as well. I can listen to this like the minister for as long as she is, amazing as yourself. Ah, that's like so beautiful. People from autonomous region of Bougainville are also beautiful. So they deserve the best, and they deserve the best in power to represent their interests. So I think that's a beautiful thing. And
Thank you.
I'm sure you're passionate about so many things, right? You're passionate about so many things. But before we end, probably in 1 or 2 minutes, share one thing that you're passionate about, and then maybe also encourage us on how we can participate in your passion. And then probably a last word to anyone who wants to pursue, overseas studies and how they can do that.
Okay. I'll start with. Can I start with the second question? The
Yes.
pursuing online, not online studies, just continuing your education through scholarships. I would encourage other young people who think that scholarships are very hard to apply for, and that when you go into it, when you're applying, there's a really big pool of people who are applying as well, and you sometimes doubt yourself that, like, how would they choose me? Like, when so many other people across the Pacific have applied for Australian scholarships, have applied for New Zealand scholarships. These are the scholarships we go for. I would say just get on that application and start. Like, start right now. Like, ask questions. Go to the people who have experience with applying, and maybe we can do a live session later on just the application process with Ginate and other
Absolutely.
USSP recipients, so
I would
that
love that.
PNG students can know how we went through the process, and the kind of help that we had as well. So read up. It's very straightforward. All you have to do is tick all the boxes. Do your essays. Not only do one essay, do 8 drafts of that essay. Just put your
Wow.
all into it. Yeah. Like, I would not say that winning a scholarship is easy. I would say you have to put in the hard work. Yeah. You have to put in the hard work, and you have to know that there are other people that are staying up till midnight to finish those essays, to really polish up their writing, so that the committee can choose the best. Do you want to be the best? Like, yeah, put that
Yeah.
kind of effort into
Yeah.
applying. Yeah.
Yes.
So never like take for granted your experience. Put all your experiences like you do in your CV, put them all in. Your volunteering, like the things you volunteer in, put them all in. Mention them. Yeah. Because you may not know how powerful that experience that you have in serving like rural areas, that might be the factor that sets you apart from all the scholarship applicants. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then moving on to the first question you had.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a bit passionate. um,
Good. All good.
so
I was just waiting for
something
you
I'm
to
passionate.
catch on.
I'm very passionate about, I think you can tell already, education, because my mom is a
Yes.
teacher. And um, I I put education first because I see how it has helped my family to rise up from like um, not on like to like go to keep climbing to the next level in life, not worrying about finances. To those that are struggling right now in school, know that it's temporary, and right now you might be thinking like, oh, I have this huge essay to write, and it's not
Yeah.
only you going through that. There are so many students that like really doubt, and um, and if you're going through depression because of studies, that's it's unhealthy to keep that in. Go and talk to your friends, talk about the struggles that you're facing, and maybe if you're doubting yourself, um, just ask other people for help. And girl,
I love it.
yeah,
I love
I'm really lucky to have Ginate and other friends here that help me when I feel like there's so much pressure, when people put you on the newspaper saying you're on a scholarship, and that kind of pressure to deliver. That pressure to deliver and be a straight A student, that pressure is real. And and I sometimes like never go into drinking, because those are only temporary. Those will only solve your like your struggles temporarily.
it.
Um, so I don't touch the drugs. I don't touch alcohol. But just like go and don't don't go and binge eat. Actually, I've been doing that, but like don't go and binge eat. Deal with it in a healthy way. Yeah. So I'm passionate
Yeah.
about education, but also this mental health, because
Yes.
pressures at this age, when you're in your 20s and in teenage years, that
So
those
true.
kind of things can get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real.
Absolutely.
And having to also like have responsibilities like paying for power at this age. We are adulting now. Paying for
Yeah.
power, paying for water bill, electricity bill. Yeah.
So
These
true.
pressures, like sometimes you just like you wanna cry. But there are friends out there who will give you that shoulder to cry on. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And if you ever need someone to talk to, I just wanted to lay it out. Like, just reach out to me. My personal Instagram, so reach out to me there. We can talk absolutely about anything that you want to talk about. Anything at all that you want to get off your chest. I'll I'll find time. I'll make time. So just let me know. And it's good because we have Instagram, we have WhatsApp, whatever. can chat, FaceTime, whatever. So you get this stuff off your chest. I think there's a excuse me.
Oh,
There's a difference between when you chat with someone, texting, and then when you actually have a face-to-face conversation with them. Like
yes.
it's so powerful when you have a face-to-face conversation because you can see the emotion, or you can feel what they're talking about, and then you show it on their face. And then that's when you realize that okay, this conversation is serious, this conversation is emotional, But on text, you won't be able to see that. So I think it's very important. Um, and I absolutely agree with you on that. That yeah, we need to have consistent conversation on mental health as well. Um, and I'm hoping to have that conversation on here as well with people who are in that area. And of course, I agree with you that if we need to hold another um, Q&A conversation or just discussion on scholarship, that could be something if you can, if you are able to make time, then I will be able to make time as well. But there's like one question only that someone asked, and I just wanted to share. They asked this question, and they said, "Is it heavenly in Hawaii as it looks on yeah? Is it there?"
I'm looking out the window. My view from here is I have like the whole tree in front of me, so um, I
Do you want
wouldn't
to
I
show us?
wouldn't be able to show you.
Oh,
it, I
it's
mean,
okay to. You don't
okay.
have to.
Oh, yeah, it's as beautiful as it's like shown in the pictures. Yeah, Hawaii
Oh
is a
wow,
tourist
beautiful.
destination. Um,
That's.
yeah, Hawaii is a tourist destination. I don't know.
I think I should.
Yeah,
Yeah, I should
and
definitely
it's
let my friends in Hawaii know that you are there. I have like
yeah.
at least 2 or 3 friends there who are from there, who are working there, that they're doctors. So I should let them know that you are there. You and Ginate are there. So I don't know if they will be interested to come and say hi or whatnot.
Oh, thank you. And
But thank you so much.
oh, are there any questions that like we can open it up
Yeah.
to the
Okay.
people who are
Absolutely.
watching?
Thank you so much. I was expecting like for an hour, but if you are able to stay a little bit longer, say probably another. I don't know what time. How many time do you have? Or how many time? How much time do you have on your side before you go for lunch?
Okay, how many? Okay, let's yeah, we
Okay,
can
we can look
open it
at the
up
first.
to the audience.
Okay.
Maybe like,
Right.
are you okay with 15 minutes or 10
Yeah, I,
minutes?
I am I am fine. I am fine with 15 minutes. So ladies and gentlemen, Leoshina has opened up the next 15 minutes for questions. So please ask us some questions right now. You can send the questions on the comment, or you can actually send it on the question box on the side. So we'll be waiting for you for your questions. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's 3 questions in the question box.
Oh,
One, they
really?
said how are
Okay.
you, Kevin? Yeah. And then the other one is how do you find motivation to get through your day?
Okay.
How do you find motivation to get through your day? That's one question in the question box.
How do I find motivation? Well, um, well, I normally go through to YouTube and I find like as because as a student it gets busy during the day and I like to listen. I'm like a audio learner, and so I always have my favorite channels like Joyce Meyer, Dr. Miles Monroe. These are people like speakers that I like to listen to because it's not only motivating me to get through my day, but it's building. It's when you listen to other people. They say the 5 people that you surround yourself with, you become like them. You get impacted, influenced by them. And so I choose the 5 people on YouTube. and and the way that they speak, the way that they motivate others, I think I catch on their way of like talking their language, and so that I can help others as well. So it's not only about motivating me, but it's making, it's building my my own it's building myself so that I can help others.
Yeah.
If you understand. Yeah.
So beautiful. And I just want to jump on there as with you, and then share someone very close to me, and he's a mentor. He said the same thing. 5 people that you choose actually give you a direction of like, and then he said, maybe if you are struggling with, finances, you want to probably you have like 5 people who are very successful in business, 5 people who are probably billionaires or millionaires, just be friends with them, and then you probably might, change the scope of your, financial situation. I think it's the same as what you just mentioned, but the message is whoever you surround yourself with will determine the kind of person you're going to become. Someone in here commented and said, he said, Jacinthe, her name is Jacinthe, Jacinthe Tony, yeah, her name. She said, political science represents a wider scope than government and PNG political system. You have potential to influence policy directions through international platforms to support development at local levels. I think that's a great comment. I think we were talking about politics, and then, yeah, she shared that.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I'm just looking through other. Yeah, did you see a question?
I see DE.realize3D.
Yeah.
Yes. I think you could read that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, D. If you could allow us to call you D, realized. Dot realize. Sorry, I have to start to learn how to call Instagram names properly. She said, "Good night, Leoshina. Would you have any tips on becoming more confident with public speaking?" Yay, I love this question. Thank you, Dee, for sending this question. Over to you, Leoshina.
Okay. I've been given many tips by people who put me through Toastmasters, but some are very crazy tips to like change your mindset before you get out there and speak. But I'll keep those crazy tips for the end so we can have a good laugh. But the first tip would be before you're about to say something, know three points. So, like as you speak, know the 3 things that you want to um, convey in your message or bring out and communicate. So have your 3 points ready, like just brainstorm them so that you have them there and you can expand on them. So that's every time I go out and speak, I have like 3 points ready and then I conclude. Yeah. Because if you have those 3 ideas, you can expand on them as you talk, and people will think you prepared or wrote your speech overnight. The other thing is never take for granted the time that you put into practice. Practice makes perfect. That's something that's always said. And like use the time that you're in front of the mirror, brushing your hair. For all of us, for us with, melanisha thick hair, we take a lot of time brushing our hair. So use that time to speak to yourself. Pretend you're speaking to others, and yeah, that's good practice time put in. And the third one is kind of funny. Is imagine everyone. Imagine everyone in their underwear so that you are confident. Yeah. But when you're in front of an audience, yeah, that's easier when you're in front of an audience. But for me, my secret is I smell the stage so that the stage is part of me, and I feel like, it's like just an extension of like me expressing. Yeah, I smell the
Yeah.
stage. That's weird, but I just take a deep breath and I smell the wood or like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
for my debate teachers back at Marinville, they told me the tip is to not get shy. You must look over the heads of people. Yeah,
Yeah.
just don't look them in the eyes. Look
Yeah.
over their head. Yeah, because once you look people in the eye,
Yeah. You get
you get
nervous
scared.
or something.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I
think
hope that
I'm
helps.
gonna just take on the tree. I'm just that's Lorna. Hi Lorna, thank you. She said, I think she says the same thing as you, but she said it more like pretend all your friends in the crowd is naked, or in underwear. So I think in a way it gives, yeah, you, I don't know, some kind of confidence to continue to share what you're sharing. But absolutely taking note of all the 3 points. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Yeah, we probably have 3 more minutes, but we'll probably yeah get at least 1 or 2 more questions, and then or one question, 3 minutes or one question. Yeah.
But when you speak from personal experience, it's like it comes out naturally. Yeah,
Yeah.
it comes out naturally because you're telling your story, and no one is a better expert in telling your story than you. So that
Yeah.
gives you confidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And I think what I'm just thinking like about when you said smell the sage, I think like how I'm taking it is you take in, the audience, you take in the
The
setup, you take in
surroundings.
everything that is there. So you can use like examples that are there within the room to be able to convey a message. So like you take in the stage as in you see, where probably the chair is placed because you might trip over, or like a cord, or the audience, how many of them are they
Mm,
young, are they old? Sorry, not
yeah.
old, sorry.
I think it's
Are they
called
young, are they
survey.
elderly? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, like survey your surroundings, like assess
exactly.
everything before you begin. Like
Exactly.
take your time, don't rush. People are waiting to hear from you.
So true. And I think it's very handy because I've spoken to different people, and being able to present even to one audience too. Thinking
Yeah,
if just that audience is an ambassador of a foreign mission, right? Or is the prime minister. Just imagine it might vary. Like you have the ambassador of foreign missions, or you have the prime minister. Just one audience that you have to speak to and try to present something, or you have a group, a whole entire stage. I mean, auditorium filled with people. Either way, it's the substance of the event or the message that you're trying to bring across, you know.
yeah,
So if you're speaking to the ambassador, an ambassador representing your organization or representing whatever that you want to speak, it's going to be so different. He's also an audience. He or she is also an audience thinking. And then probably
yeah,
to a prime minister, even though he's an individual, he's also an audience. And then to a group of students. So it's yeah, I find myself in all these,
yeah.
three examples, and I think what your tips are is applicable to any audience, so long as you know your game, you know your story, and you know what you want to deliver. Yeah, I think wow, these are great tips.
But it's all
Ab-
true what you're saying. Because if you can, oh no, Toastmasters would kill me. I'm saying, let me breathe. See, public speakers, we also make mistakes. So if you can keep one person engaged, like a friend engaged in your conversation, then you can have an audience's attention. Yeah, a whole audience's attention.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
And
practicing with your
Nelson,
friends is good. Nelson,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nelson just said, no, your passion and your purpose. It just gives you a brilliant, way of how you can deliver. And one last question that they have sent. Um, Someone asked, underscore tropical dot sacco. He
Okay,
said,
let me.
he asked, yeah, that's a interesting. I love that Instagram handle. He said, how did you get into the scholarship you are in now? And then we can maybe end from that conversation.
Well, I was told by one of my family friends, actually my godmother, Auntie Karen, that there was this scholarship opportunity, and I think that was around 3 months before the application date for the United States South Pacific Scholarship. And when she said, "Oh, this is a scholarship for Hawaii, and it provides a stipend and 4 years of study," I was thinking, "Oh, that's too good to be true. Like, that's too good to be true. How would I be able to get that? You know?" But I went and looked at the application, and there was a website. So we'll talk about that later in a future session. But there's a website where you create an account and you go through all the questions that are there for essays, and they ask you, so what's your study plan? What do you want to do in future? And like those are things you have to really outline. You have to outline what courses you want to take. So I began to do the research, and I seeked assistance like from past recipients. Like if they had time, they would respond, but sometimes they were working and they couldn't respond, so I had to take it on myself to try and find out more about the courses from the University of Hawaii, and what lined up with what my goals were for 4 years or 5 years time. And that wasn't my first draft. I gave that first draft to my aunties, and they read through it. They gave feedback, and I did my final, like,
Wow,
very clean draft. And then I was happy, and I submitted it. So you can only give your best. Yeah.
absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Leoshina. I think we are to the end of the 15 minutes, probably over 15 minutes. But I really appreciate you giving us the extra 30 minutes to be able to answer questions and just continue the conversation into the 30 minutes that I didn't plan to have. But I appreciate your time and your passion to really sit with our people and have this conversation. So thank you so much for your time and for your story, for your passion, for your experience, for your wisdom, everything. And of course, your story as well, your personal stories about your life and your family, and sharing it here with us. I really, really appreciate that. And I, okay, there's one question. Uh, this last one question from Solai Publicity PNG. Do you want to have answer
I
that or?
wonder who's running that page. I mean, I wonder who's running that page. You put up really great stuff.
Yes, and you're saying that on behalf of me too as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to
Um,
answer this question
but
or we
Yana,
can.
can I please
Okay.
like return the compliments?
Yes.
Everyone Okay. Hi, Anna.
Hello. Hi, are you there?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Oh, I think it's my network.
that's
Sorry.
all right. So I was just reading the question by Tolai Publicity PNG.
Yes.
So, well, I hear a lot of the things happening in PNG through Facebook because Papua New Guinea is very big on Facebook. That's the biggest like social media platform for our people. And when I hear about women being harassed in public, like I saw a woman recently with her shirt being nearly ripped off, and I just, I felt so like it really hurts to be far away from your country and to see these things happening, like to other women. Yeah, like it's like we haven't learned already from the death of women who've gone through gender-based violence. Uh, I I speak to Ginate and we both share the like same sentiments. Like we're both very sad to hear that it's happening, but at the same time, there are really great things that and initiatives that are trying to spread awareness on what's happening. Like, and I always go back to this. UNICEF is also working on this. It's trying to create a good image, like rebuild that good image. Tribal Foundation is bringing in leaders, and the Maxwell Foundation. Later, you can tell us more about what's happening with that. And even though negative news is being published on media, we also have to try our best as we are all advocates on social media, not only people with big following, but those with 10 followers to like those with like not those with just an account. If you have a social media account, use that platform to be the one that spreads that positive news. Yeah. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that would be my reaction is trying to as much as possible like release a lot of positivity um into like spread good news. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. And I think that's one of the like reasons why this platform was created was to have like that kind of conversation, so it creates awareness, and then this kind of encouragement and conversation is disseminated and encouraged on this platform, so we can take personal action. So thank you again. Thank you so much. I think we will stop taking conversation. Stop taking questions now because we might stay up until it's your lunchtime now over there. So I really,
Oh,
really, really
it's actually midnight. It's 12:34. But I'm up I'm staying awake for you all. Yeah. Thank you.
oh my
Thank you
God,
for
I'm
joining.
sorry. That is
It's
correct.
okay.
That is correct. It's midnight there. And thank you,
Yeah.
Leoshina. I know you have a big day tomorrow. So we will end the conversation here. But again, thank you so much. Thank you for taking your time, for making time to have this conversation with me. And I really, really appreciate that. And I look forward to, having another conversation with you probably when you graduate or when you're like probably have you as a um what will I say continuous guest on this platform. But your insight is very, very important to a lot of things happening in the country, and I really appreciate that about you. And what you're pursuing is for the greater good, and I really, really appreciate it. And all the information and all the wisdom that you've shared with us. Again, thank you so much. Thank you, Leoshina.
Thank you.
And if you ever need someone to talk to, like I said, I'm here. And anyone here, if they ever need someone to talk to, please reach out to people that you trust, that you can share your story with, so that you get these things off your chest and be at peace with your mind, so that you can be able to do great things. So again, I cannot thank you enough, Leoshina. Thank you so much again,
Thank
for
you.
having this
And
conversation with me.
and whoever's watching, I'm very proud of how far you are going as well. I see all your efforts, even though it may not be published like other like members in politics. We know that our citizens are doing their best every day. They're doing their best, and thank you for joining in conversations like this, watching and learning from people like Yanamlin. The fact that you're here tonight on a Saturday, yeah, that speaks like volumes that you are very inspired and you're ready to take on the world. I'm very proud of you if you're watching. Yeah.
Thank you. I think everyone will appreciate that, and as well as me. And again, thank you. And I will call it a night for you and an evening for me here. So thank you, Leoshina, for this
Thank
conversation and
you.
for your time. All right,
Like
I'll see
you,
you again
Victoria.
soon. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Right. So ladies and gentlemen, that was our seventh guest for the conversation, for the live conversation. We have the next one coming up on Monday, and then the other one coming up on Tuesday. So we'll be having consistent conversation on this platform. So please stay tuned in. Share this conversation, share this page with your friends and family. And if you think that anything said in this conversations will help change someone else's mind, please do so. Forward them a link and invite them to watch. So again, thank you so much, everyone who have been with me from day one, and now we're here. I really appreciate each one of you. Thank you so much again to Leoshina, and I will be calling it a night. All right, thank you so much. Francisco Mo out.